In this video, we're going to talk about how to remove the internal triangles of a terrain model. In SS4, there is no tool currently that will remove internal triangles. That functionality was in SS2 with the TinEdit tools, but again, that functionality has not made it to SS4 yet, but it will be there in the future. Now, to remove these triangles, what you're going to have to do is do the following procedure. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete my terrain model that I have. And when I delete it, it's not a big deal. I can get that terrain model back fairly easy by just making a selection set and then going to Project Explorer, going to Field Books, and create terrain model from Field Book selection set. And so there's the terrain model again. If I turn on my triangles, you'll see that it's the same tin file or terrain model. So again, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then what you need to do is we need to create a survey linear element all the way around the internal area that you want to clip out. And so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to start right up here on this point right here. And I'm going to go over to my Project Explorer. I'm going to go to my Field Books. I'm going to expand out my Field Book. And I'm going to go to All Linear Features. And I'm just going to right-click on that and then do a New. Now once I'm in here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put my cursor in that first field. I'm going to come out and select that point right there and accept it. And I'm going to select all the points that I want to be included in this linear element that's going to define the internal area that I want to clip out of my terrain model. And actually what I'm going to do is create a void when I do this. Now there's a lot of points in here and it's going to take some time, so I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video for a few seconds while I go around and select all these points. Okay, we're getting close to the beginning of our new survey linear element. And so we're coming in, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that same first point that I used in this survey linear element. And once it's in there, all you got to do, or once you have all your points in your survey linear element, you can go ahead and accept. And when you accept that, you can see that you now have an element that goes around your entire area that you want to clip out. Okay. Next thing we need to do is we need to go into the element, and we're going to go to Properties of that element, and we're going to go down to where we're going to be looking at the terrain model attribute. And right now it's set to determined by feature. Well, our feature definition is set to default. So we can do one of two things. We can set up a feature that has a void attribute to it in the linear feature, or you can just come down to terrain model attribute and select void. Now when I select void, what's going to happen is the survey data is going to create a new terrain model automatically. And you can see that once I clicked on void there, and here's our terrain model. Again, it goes back to the default feature definition for that, which is existing boundary. But if we switch that from existing boundary down to existing triangles, you'll see that the new terrain model has that area clipped out. Now we've got a bunch of bogus triangles here that are a little are there mainly because of the side length that we have, which is too large. But if we go bring it down to like 100, you can see that those look better. And so again, all you have to do to clip out this area is create a new linear feature that includes all the points that you want around the area. And then once you have that linear element defined, you go ahead and select that linear element and change the feature or the terrain model attribute to a void.